like every market, product design is changing. So what do you think are going to be some of the key things that are going to shape that market for product design in the future?
Sustainability has been around for decades. The design kind of leads you in that way. There's a lot of buzz around generative AI and what it can do and what it can't do. Pushing the boundaries of what we do. We're always looking to drive value and efficiencies in the processes, leveraging opportunities to really fast track early decision making. What we're trying to do is actually mitigate the risk, really understand at a granular level the needs of who you're designing for.
Welcome to the first Crux Spotlight. Crux Product Design is a leading international product design agency that works with a number of leading organizations on product design that really has measurable business success. I'm Dominic Walters. I'm an independent consultant. I've been working recently a lot with Crux, and I wanted to find out more about product design, the market, and what Crux does within that market. So in this and future videos, we're going to be looking more at what makes good product design and what Crux does to be so effective with it. I have some questions, and I hope that in future videos, we'll also have questions from people who are watching. But today, I'm delighted to be with the Crux Design Director, Chris Kilbane. And today we're going to be talking about what makes good product design, what the product design market is, and what Crux does within it. So, Chris, first question, I guess let's start with the basics. What is product design?
In essence, it's the art of taking something from blank sheet of paper through into an item that can be produced and produced potentially at super high volumes as well as low volumes.
Okay, so it is really about making sure a product does its job, but does it in a way that's effective and a way, I guess, that makes it marketable often and effective and successful.
Yeah. And in fact, product design, I guess, is a newer term. Mm-hmm. What it used to be called was industrial design, and you'll hear a bit of a differentiation between product design and industrial design. They are pretty similar. I think product design has more of a inclusion of software and app development. So that's why you get product leads and product designers who might be specialists in app development.
Okay.
But at Crux, we consider the whole system from the physical hardware through to the kind of interactions all the way through to the software and the user interface.
Like every market, product design is changing. So what do you think are going to be some of the key things that are going to shape that market for product design in the future?
Yeah, there's a number of things that spring to mind. I think sustainability, although nothing's new, sustainability has been around for decades. We've been pushing it on the agenda on every project. I think we're fortunate that at Crux we have quite a strong moral compass. We want to design responsibly and engineer responsibly as well, and we're constantly pushing that agenda. So sustainability is a big topic, and it's something that we feel very passionate about. I've always of the opinion that we have a strong obligation to design and engineer responsibly. Another area is to do with minimalist design. So I can think of that in a way of designing where the aesthetics have meaning and purpose. We're not just developing beautiful products for beauty's sake. We can do that, but we're very focused on the experience for the user is as seamless and as flawless as it can be. You're not having to think how to use or interact. Actually, the design kind of leads you in that way. And that goes down to very highly complex drug delivery systems. How do you make them as intuitive so that people know they've taken their medication correctly and deliver that drug? Vitally important due to other kind of interactions of just being able to pick up a device and hold it and it feel comfortable and natural, and you've got access to all the interaction points that you need.
So it sounds like there are at least two sides in terms of satisfaction around this. One is having something that looks great and is well designed, but then there's the satisfaction of someone can use that to improve their lives or to do something better than they could before. That that actual involvement of people, so they've helped to shape it. So sustainability, minimalism, what else is going to shape the market in the next few years, do you think?
So another interesting trend is inclusive design, or a buzzword. I think, again, designing inclusively is nothing new to anyone working in the consultancy world. And when we're considering user needs, obviously we've got the experience of we might be developing for very specific user needs, and they might have limited dexterity. So for them to use and interact, their demands are going to be very, very different to your average healthy volunteer. So we've come from the mindset of understanding very specific niche needs and applying that knowledge and experience into the more kind of broader reaching design. So when we're helping brands to develop personal care products, they're really conscious that they want to make their products as accessible, as usable by as many people as possible. So that's designing inclusively.
Yeah.
And as part of that process, we're often just speaking to people.
Yeah.
We've got great facilities here at Crux, so we can bring people into our environment. We can have a nice conversation, round table, similar to what we're doing now, but maybe with more people, and we can just learn and listen and be on receive and understand their life hacks. What we quite often do is actually take people on that design journey. Right. So there'll be a first touch point where we're understanding those needs, then we're going away, developing some initial ideas and crude, rapid prototypes to then get them back in and say, hey, we listened to your user needs. What do you think is our first pass effort? And kind of work with them. And that kind of co-creation, highly collaborative approach has always been very much part of our DNA here at Crux.
I was quite surprised by that when I first started working with you here at Crux, because I imagined that product design would be a lot about technical excellence, and of course it is. But I was surprised at the amount of consultation, of discussion, of understanding of people's requirements and needs, and how closely user groups were involved in the process through the whole design stages.
Yeah, it's vital, understanding and building relationships. I always say that we're in the business of relationships, not just with our clients, but also with people that we get in the building to help us on that journey. And they become a bit of a trusted affiliate to the process and can help us consult on use scenarios and user needs.
Yes.
So it's really good.
Now, of course, it's illegal nowadays to have any conversation about tech without talking about AI. So let's talk about AI. How is AI going to influence the market, do you think, for product design?
There's a lot of buzz around generative AI and what it can do and what it can't do. And, we exploit that. We explore all the tools and we cherry pick elements of those tools that we think actually can really help us. So if that's driving efficiencies to establish preferences with the client, that might be helping us to generate mood board imagery at a very kind of early stage, just to kind of set the bearing of development preferences. So if it helps us in that way, amazing. Where it falls down currently and what it can't do is, and this is yet, obviously this is maybe to come, is the human element. So bringing in that usability lens that we're talking about, it's bringing that in. So to ask AI to come up with designs for a medical diagnostic, it can rattle out look and feel, but what it can't really understand and consider and test is that human interaction element. So that's the bit it's missing. I'm sure that will come, but we actively leverage it. That's at the front end innovation side. And I know throughout other areas of the business, we're flexing it to understand actually what value can they drive.
And what do you plan to do to keep ahead over the next few years?
By continuing what we've done for the past 21 years, which is continuing to develop our capabilities. Crux was born out of engineering and design as a foundation. Since then, as we've grown and as new people have come in, we've been able to grow those capabilities. So continued growth in those areas as capabilities and pushing the boundaries of what we do. We're always looking to develop capabilities to drive value and efficiencies in the processes. So that's kind of one area is capability development.
Is that about recruiting, making sure you're recruiting people with the right skills and then helping people already with you to develop the skills that are going to be needed in the future?
Yeah. So, people's an interesting one. we're a very people-orientated organisation. As we've grown to a team of more than 110, who we bring on board, yes, obviously got to be talented, but it's about what they can bring to our culture as well. We consider ourselves investors in people. We want people to come who are energized, who want to develop, who want to grow. We feed off that energy. And I think if people can bring that and bring ideas, then we can nurture that. And I think that's something we do with intensity. We're lucky to have a dedicated people team who really help to service our growing needs of a growing workforce and setting clear expectations for a development path. Obviously, we all have our own needs and our own paths. We're not all clones of each other. And what we try to do, as big as we are now, we try to kind of nurture those individual needs as long as they're kind of aligned with longer term business strategy and what we do here on a day-to-day basis. We're quite open to nurturing the individual needs of our team.
And I guess having the right people with the right skills is one key way of future-proofing an organisation, making sure you keep up to date and anticipate changes and can respond to them quickly.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know that some of the work you'll be doing now is covered by confidentiality, understandably, but within that confine, that constraint, tell us about some of the things you're working on that are very exciting or different and new.
There's an example that's exciting me currently, which is about leveraging, without saying too much, is about leveraging opportunities to really fast track early decision making. And it's a combination of things linked to eye tracking, but bringing in other technologies and layering those to fast track user preference before clients invest significant time, significant money, what we can share with clients to really leverage some massive savings for the benefit of the project. And we're getting those user inputs as early as possible.
So that means then that clients can make big decisions quicker and easier before they've invested a lot of money in stuff they may not need.
Yeah, and that's always been our approach. Our approach at Crux is very much front-loaded, and as scary as that can be from an investment perspective, what we're trying to do is actually mitigate the risk. Right. So that risk curve, all your unknowns are super high, but actually you can learn a lot quickly, and that risk curve tails off as the product develops.
So I guess it would be quite easy to get almost carried away by the technical side of things. And what you're saying is you need to step back sometimes and talk to the people that you're designing it for to make sure that you don't invest in stuff you don't need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Chris, we've covered a lot about the world of product design, and I've learned a lot about it. As we come into land and come to a close, from your point of view, what is the one key thing you'd like people to take from our conversation?
A good takeaway would be to really understand whatever you're designing, whether it's a system, a product, a process, really understand at a granular level the needs of who you're designing for. For me, that is fundamental. And that's something that, as we've grown and developed, and we've got specialists from a range of backgrounds who that is their day job, is understanding, interpreting user needs. What does that mean for design? And being the kind of constant consultants throughout that process. For us as designers, that makes our life easy.
Chris, thank you very much for your time and your candor and giving us an insight into the world of product design and into Crux. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And thank you very much for joining us. As I said at the start, I'm setting out to find out more about the world of product design and in particular what makes Crux so effective at it. Please do join us for the next video. There will be a number of these looking into product design and how Crux does it. Please do like the video if you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, please also subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you again very soon.